If you're buying or selling in Central Ohio and you have fears about your home that you own, getting it ready to list, or the home that you might be purchasing, as far as items that might be wrong with it or need updated, this video is going to be great for you. I sit down with Hyde of Cap City Property Inspections to talk about things to look for when you're looking to buy a house and things to prep for when you're looking to sell your property. So stick around, you don't want to miss this. So as I mentioned, we are here with Hyde of Cap City Property Inspections. They are a local home inspection company here in Columbus. I use them for basically all of my buyers and sellers. But can you just give a quick recap on how you guys came to be and how long have you been in the business?
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate the business, of course. We've been operating since 2015. Started as a single man operation like a lot of home inspection companies do. Mm-hmm. And then over the time, we decided we wanted to serve more clients. We started to hire people, and we hired our first full-time inspector headlong into the pandemic in 2020. Mm-hmm. And now we've grown to a team of 10 inspectors now in 2026.
Wow.
And we service between 1,800 and 2,000 real estate transactions in the Columbus and Central Ohio area.
I mean, you guys are a dominating force, but you make it so easy. And I think that's the thing that I love the most about your company. It's disarming, it's easy. I mean, you go online, you can book everything online, and then the report that you get back on your home is just so clean and crisp and easy to digest.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I feel like you just make the whole home inspection and home buying process seamless.
Yeah, well, it can be at times a very stressful process. Mm-hmm. You're going into a home that you don't know, and more importantly, you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. So you're depending upon someone else to help you out. People from time to time can be very emotional at that process, and we try to do everything we can to remove as much friction as we can and to take care of our clients as well as we can. We always say that it's our mission to make people's lives better through service and education.
Okay.
So that is literally what we want to do with every single client, is to serve them as best we can and to educate them. Mm-hmm. Because what we have found over 9,000 transactions over 10 years in the business is that no client makes a good decision from a place of fear. Mm-hmm. So if you put them in a place where they're calm and they have the information they need, then they can make a good decision. Whether that means going forward with their transaction or not, mm-hmm. whether that means having this thing repaired or not, mm-hmm. when they do it from a place of confidence, they can make a good choice.
And that's the thing that I love too about your company is you vet really good inspectors to work for you, and those inspectors are so great about educating the clients. And I go to basically every single one of my home inspections with my clients, and every time I'm with them, I just step back and let them take the show, because they know so much about what you're seeing. And again, it is that education and understanding can make something that seems really scary, caulk around a window.
Yeah.
Not so scary.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time in our day-to-day and in our job talking about cracks.
Yes.
It's a really weird thing.
Yep.
But when you're buying a new home, you see plenty of cracks all over the place, whether it's in the foundation, whether it's by a window, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you just have to talk to people in a way that it's like, yes, there's a crack, but that's all it is. Mm-hmm. It doesn't change in size. It doesn't change in its dimension, none of that. It's just a simple crack in a wall. Mm-hmm. People will look at a very expensive furnace that needs to be replaced. Happens all the time. This is a $10,000 furnace. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, man, we just really hope this furnace lasts for a few more years. Mm-hmm. And then when we get to a foundation problem where there could be a $4,000 foundation problem, they get very emotional and very tight, where they just walk past a $10,000 furnace, but then they get very emotional over a $4,000 or $5,000 foundation repair. And it again is remembering that your client needs to be in a place where they're knowledgeable, where they're calm, and they can make that good decision.
What are some things that you see often within home inspections that might seem, very daunting, but when you really break it down, maybe it's not as scary? And I know each home's a little bit unique, but you do tons of inspections each year. You see commonalities.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we always see on every single house that everyone is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this house has it. And you're like, 9 out of 10 houses has this problem, right? And it's very basic. It's just water coming into the house. And it is the water that you have found in your basement. You found a puddle, you found a stain, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe water's getting in. But a lot of the time, this is just a deferred maintenance item where someone hasn't taken care of the house appropriately, and this water is taking the path of least resistance right into the house.
Correct.
So you find a lot of water in basements where you go outside, especially you find it in the corner. You find it in the corner of a foundation, you see the Christmas tree right there in the corner where it kind of spreads out, and I don't even need to walk around the outside of the house. I look at this stain and I say, their gutter is discharging right at the bottom of this foundation. And you know what? If you just take that gutter, you direct that water away from the house, you won't have this problem at all. And then you take them outside and you see exactly what you said was going to happen. Because really, water and managing water is that most important thing. Because when you're buying a house, you're walking in there with brand new eyes. You're seeing this house for the first time. But if you've lived in this house for 10 years, I've lived in my house for the last 4 years, I barely go in my basement. There could have been water coming in there for a long time. I wouldn't know. Because how many times do you really go into your basement and look at it with a critical eye? So absolutely, bar none, water getting into the basement is one of the things we see all the time, where we look at and we say, man, for a few $100s of dirt, for some sweat equity at Home Depot, directing this water away, you're not going to have any of these problems.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that's one that we do see often. And then as far as, and we're seeing it a lot more in the market now that the market has kind of shifted a little bit. I mean, buyers are having a little bit more time. Those pandemic times, it was like, okay, we have 1 to 3 day inspection periods and we had to go quick. But now that we have a little bit more time, and making sure that sellers are set up for success prior to even getting their home listed, so that when they come to this, when the buyers come to this inspection period, they can be well prepared. What are some things, I mean, like, what would you recommend to sellers who are potentially listing their property here in the next few months?
It is honestly in the Central Ohio market the first time in the last 10 years that we could even consider this to be a buyer's market. I mean, it's not quite a buyer's market yet, right? But 10 years ago, the supply was so limited, contracts would happen so quickly, and buyers couldn't ask for anything. And what it led to was a lot of listing appointments where agents said, don't fix anything, who cares? This house is going to sell in the next 18 days. You're fine. So when it comes to what should a seller actually pay attention to when they're getting ready to list their home, of course, pay attention to everything that your agent wants you to, because they're there to help you get the best price you can get for your house. And you know, the number one ROI item on any listing is painting the front door. Paint your front door. After that, please walk around your house, look at the ceilings, look at the walls, and look for some stains. And if those are old stains that are not recent water that doesn't need to be repaired, paint the stains. If you got some chipping paint, take off the paint, you know, take care of things like that. You can do your common upgrades, you can upgrade your kitchen, you can upgrade your bathroom, all of that. But really looking at it from a fresh set of eyes that's coming in and saying, what's my buyer going to be worried about? It's very hard to predict the future. A buyer could come in and walk right past a 30-year-old furnace, and you think, oh man, this is the number one thing they're going to, you know, object to. And they look at you and say, my brother does furnaces. I'm going to get this for $3,000. This is great. Not a problem at all. But go through the house, fix anything that is obviously damaged. Fix any wiring or any electrical items that are obviously damaged. Because you absolutely know that if you have wires hanging out of a light fixture, that's going to come up immediately. That's absolutely going to come up. We're going to find a lot of things wrong, or make a lot of recommendations about your house, but don't make it easy on us. You know, fix the things that are obviously broken.
Well, and then again, that inspection report for that buyer, once they go to purchase the home, is probably going to be a lot smaller, and it gives them more confidence in purchasing your home. So when there's a lot of these little things, deferred maintenance, as you mentioned, it can start to work negatively against you for that buyer confidence who's purchasing your property in the future.
And what it really comes down to is like a preponderance of evidence. It's just like things start to pile up. And it's easy to look at an inspection report and say, oh my God, this is 50 items. What are we going to do? And a lot of them are very minor items that a seller could have just taken care of. Number one, please make sure that all your outlets have covers on them.
Yes.
I have to write that up as a recommendation. I have no choice. They're 30 cents at Lowe's.
Correct.
Go down and look at what kind of outlet cover you may need. Go to Lowe's, spend the $3 and just fix all the outlet covers in your house. It just takes one more thing off the inspection report that is going to make it feel more manageable for your clients.
Correct. Yeah. And if a seller is like, okay, we've lived here, we feel like we've done a pretty good job about like keeping up on things. I mean, there is that option as well for them to have your company come out and do a full inspection prior to listing, just to make sure that they have a full knowledge of what potentially could come up or what is going to come up. Because again, the thorough inspections that your company does, I feel like you guys never miss a thing, which is great. Having that knowledge from the get-go can help save that deal down the road as well.
Yeah. In a absolutely perfect real estate world, we would do a pre-listing inspection on every house. That's not the world we live in.
Correct.
Unfortunately, we end up doing inspections for buyers, which are very valuable. But if it were absolutely perfect, you would put your house up, getting ready to sell it, and then have an inspection done. And then you could look at the items that came back and said, you know what, I'm gonna fix these 5. And then these 10, I can't take care of that. And then the person that comes in to buy your house can see what you've done, what you can't do, and they can again make a decision without fear. Because I'll tell you, the number one thing that's gonna poison a negotiation when we deal with them, when we deal with inspections, is when a buyer gets a sense that a seller is hiding something. When they feel like they cannot trust the process, cannot trust the seller or the listing agent, you're gone, you're done. So you never want to be in that place as a seller where anyone could say, are they hiding that? That's going to go very bad for you very quickly.
Exactly. And everybody, I mean, the buyer does not know you as the seller, and something that you may have had no knowledge of actually occurring is found in that inspection. And again, they feel like there's that, you know.
Yeah,
again, it's like almost like people against each other, battling each other in the transaction, and we don't want that.
It's a big decision for a buyer to make. They're especially now, they're spending a lot of money. In a lot of cases, they're spending $500,000. You know, it's very hard to work with a car dealership that you don't trust, where you're spending $30,000 to $50,000, right? Trying to work with a seller that you don't trust, that is a very hard deal to close.
And that's why working with a inspection company that is reputable within the market, local, family owned. I know I've got to throw that in there because you guys are, you know, you've started this business, like you said at the beginning. And having somebody who treats you like family and helps you and makes sure that you are set up for the best success, whether you're on the sell side or the buy side, that's the key at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything before we say goodbye to the viewers that you would like to leave them with?
You know, I always want to tell buyers that you need to be comfortable with what you're doing. You need to have faith in your purchase. You need to be ready to move forward. And, you know, on our side of every transaction and where we are in the industry, we get asked a lot of times, do you know a good real estate agent we can work with? We absolutely give out referrals. We play a little matchmaker. You know, you're in this industry, we think you'd like to work with this agent, or you have, you know, you're moving from this area, you should probably work with this agent, right? And it's having that relationship with your agent that you implicitly trust. If you don't have that feeling, if you don't trust your agent, don't sign anything. Please don't buy that house. Walk. You will find an agent that will take care of you, that will care for you, that will not steer you wrong. And those are the people you need to work with. Because when it comes down to it, really, we get to work with a buyer for 3 hours. We get 3 hours in their new house to try to predict the next 15 years of their life.
Yep.
It's an impossible job to do. It's impossible on a good day to do that job. But you get to spend so much more time with the buyer, learning about what they really like, what they really need, what school district they want to be in, what kind of street they want to live on, how close they want to live to a Chick-fil-A. You know, it doesn't matter. Buyers make decisions for all kinds of reasons. Make sure you work with an agent that you absolutely trust and that you feel is going to take care of you, because it's that trust that just changes everything in a transaction.
It does, yeah, and having your best interests. And again, going back to the education, and that's what I love so much about your company, and that's how I run my business. It's just making sure we educate. They have all the resources that they need. And one thing that I love too about yours is you have all those trusted partners. I mean, I have a ton of trusted partners as well from like a contractor standpoint, but you also have a full list of those trusted partners that
and you know, we
on.
learned a lesson with that very early on. The home inspection industry is kind of weird, and they tell us a lot of things about what we should and shouldn't do and what we should and shouldn't say, and that's all because there are a lot of lawyers involved, right? That doesn't matter. What we learned was people would ask us for recommendations, and we would say, well, I don't know if I want to give you a recommendation. And I pushed back against that immediately and said, if I know the best roofer in town, it is not only my ability, it is my responsibility to tell you who the best roofer is in town. That's when we built our vendor list and said, yes, we're going to give out vendor names, and we're going to follow up on those recommendations, and we're going to make sure they're doing good work. Because if we have the ability to make a great referral, we have the responsibility.
And that's what I love about your company. So I appreciate taking the time to sit down with my viewers and just chat a little bit about home inspections, maybe make them a little less scary if they're in the process of buying or selling. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, Hyde.
If you ever have any questions, feel free to hit us up. You can reach us on Facebook. You can go to Instagram, just hashtag CapCityInspect. It is our mission to serve and educate. We're always there to help you with any of your real estate needs.
Perfect, thank you. Well, hopefully you learned a thing or two throughout that video. If you are somebody who's looking to sell their house or you're looking to buy in the Central Ohio area, I would love to be a resource for you. Would be happy to get you connected with Cap City Property Inspections as well to get your house ready, or to just have you prepped for when you go to purchase that property. Again, my name is C-Bus Nathan Klein. I put out videos every Friday about Columbus, things to do, market updates, and so much more. So if you like this content, you found it valuable, feel free to reach out, book a one-on-one call, like, subscribe, and follow along. I will see you next week.